AVC, it's Trevor back with another Flat Round and Spun, here to do yet another contest entry. This one is for Mike at Uncommon Pallor. Mike, he's really into his underground stuff. Lots of hardcore punk rock, 7 inches. And I mean, I thought I was into underground. I mean, compared to Mike, I'm just laying out on the grass with a shovel full of topsoil on me. That's about as underground as I am compared to Mike. Mike is also out of London, Ontario, which brings back a memory for me personally of going over to London to see Heaven and Hell, Black Sabbath, fronted by Dio, because they didn't have a Detroit date yet. And since they're my favorite band, I had to go. And they were playing at the John Labatt Center, which also makes me think of Labatt Blue. So here's to you, Mike. Cheers. Not easy to find in the Pacific Northwest. So got that. So Mike's his contest is 13 questions in celebration of his 300 subscribers. So it's called 13 for 300. Right now he's at 379, so he's doing way well here. So let's get started with number 1 of the 13. Cover with a mammal on it. We're gonna go with the Beastie Boys, Some Old Bullshit. And get the hype sticker out of the way. Oh, this beautiful golden retriever kind of reminds me of my wife and I's first dog that we had together, Max, which we miss very much. That's when they were still hardcore punk rock in New York. Next, record that has food on the cover. And that is Residents, Icky Flicks. And there's a Corn on the Cob right there. This is a re-recording of a bunch of classics and a soundtrack to a DVD of all their videos. And they re-recorded all the songs along with, a track of the originals. Good stuff. Number 3, Exceptionally Terrible Hairstyle. This is a picture disc of Ozzy Osbourne, and it is The Ultimate Sin, Never Know Why, and Thank God for the Bomb. That's 86 when he's kind of getting that LA Sunset Strip look, but dressed as B. Arthur in the Golden Girls. So there's that. A single-sided record, test pressing, or picture disc. Well, I already did a picture disc, so we'll go with the single-sided record. This is the band Toe Tag, and the album is called, it's an EP called Throat to Scrote. Toe Tag is Blaine from The Accused, and it sounds very much like Accused, that splatter rock. It is, let's see, this is the record side that you play on, and this is etched of the album cover that we just saw. Cool artwork. And my screen went off here. Let's see. Damaged sleeve. Thankfully, a lot of my covers are pretty good, but this one I got used. I can't remember if I got this at a Kiss Expo or a used store, but it's Kiss the Originals. Some ring wear there. The spine's kind of jacked up. But this is Casablanca Records cashing in on the popularity of Kiss Alive. So they repressed the first 3 records. It's pretty cool. The discs themselves seem pretty thin. I mean, I'm not looking to have 180 gram or anything, but these are exceptionally thin, but they still play all right. Next, cover with a weapon on it. This is Marauder with the album Master Killer with the samurai sword. Marauder, 90s New York hardcore, very heavy, brutal. I first got this as a promo CD when I was working at Harmony House and been in love with this album ever since. Marauder, Master Killer. Let's see, show a 5-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch, 9-inch, or 10-inch. Well, I don't have the first 3, so we'll have to go with the 10-inch, which is probably the most common. But this is Entombed, Black Juju, cover of the Alice Cooper song. From Man's Ruin, label. A bunch of my friends were into this label. This is the only thing I have by them, but it's really cool. Gray marble. Good stuff. Entombed. Cover with a vehicle that isn't a car or motorcycle. I am going to go with Cheated Death by Against the Grain. Against the Grain is a great, hard driving Detroit rock and roll band. Highly recommend them. On here you see it's a train with a skull in front. And these guys are very influenced by Motorhead, so I guess this is like an homage to Orgasmatron, you know, instead of Snaggletooth being on the cover. So there's that. Against the Grain. Misleading cover. We're going to go with California by Mr. Bungle. This kind of looks like an easy listening record. Maybe like the California vibe of, you know, the yacht rock we'll go with. But it has a little bit of Hawaiian sound at the beginning, but as we all know and love Mr. Bungle, their genre-bending music within one song, let alone the whole album, very misleading. So, Mr. Bungle, California. Weird pairing or one you'd like to see and why. I'm going to go with a weird pairing. This is Palehead Trait, fronted by Ian MacKaye, famously of Minor Threat and Fugazi and a few other projects that I can't think of right now. Also famously Straight Edge, paired up with Al Jurgensen, who, from Ministry, Revolting Cocks, blah, 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 blah. Famously a junkie, so you get a straight edge guy and a junkie working together and you get Palehead, which this record I have loved for about 30 years now, probably more. Great stuff. A little bit of industrial, a little bit of hardcore, but all mixed together very, very well. Cover showing a crime being committed. This isn't actually committed, but it's the aftermath. This is Carpenter Brute with Leather Terror. See the bloody knife. Carpenter Brute, heavy electronic, almost sounds like guitar, but it's electronic. Cool stuff. Mostly instrumental, but there are a couple vocal tracks on here. There's a trilogy of this, the leather thing. There's Leather Teeth, Leather Terror, and there's going to be another one probably sometime in the near future. But really, really good album. Has a very 80s vibe to it. Let's see. I'm going to flip 12 and 13 and go to 13 and a record in which one or more of the band members are dead. And this is I already brought them up earlier, but beloved Motorhead, Iron Fist, where Lemmy, Filthy Animal Taylor, and Fast Eddie Clark, all gone. This is Iron Fist is actually the first Motorhead song I ever heard, even before Ace of Spades. I want to say probably, I don't know, I think I heard it probably 84, 85, something like that. But yeah, this is the fastest stuff I had heard until I got into the thrash stuff. So, Motorhead, Iron Fist. Now going back to number 12, a record by a local band to you. So I'm going to do this in two parts. We're going to do my current place in here in the Seattle area. This is Year of the Cobra. This album is Ash and Dust. Their latest record came out in 2019. Their husband and wife duo, John on drums, Amy on bass and vocals, kind of in the doom stoner realm. Really, really good. This album is produced by Jack Endeo, famous for producing Nirvana and Mudhoney and all the Seattle bands. Saw them at their the record release of this and got to actually meet Jack there at the party. So great album. Highly recommend all their stuff. And then finally, a local record from my home of Detroit, which kind of brings us full circle, because this is what got me to watch Mike's channel, because he had this in the thumbnail of one of his videos, and that is Ugly But Proud. This is Knuckles from Nowhere. I first heard this in 1988 on a high school station nearby where I grew up. at the station was WAHS, Avondale High School, and they played the song Death Clowns. And that was back when you couldn't, like, you know, have the cassette deck, you know, hit record while you're playing the radio, and that song came up, and it is just cool, like metal crossover hardcore stuff. And these guys were actually the opening act of the first hardcore show I went to. These guys opened. In the middle was Lost Cause from Chicago, and headlining were the Mentors from here in Seattle. So that was that. So I will leave a description for Mike's channel, Uncommon Pallor, and I'll put that in, like I said, in the description. And thank you for enduring this 10-minute long, 11-minute long video. So we'll talk to you guys later. See ya!